The first American-born Pope, 69-year-old Cardinal Robert Prevost, took the name of Pope Leo XIV.
The Chicago native spent many years working in Peru, where he served as a bishop. He's considered to be an experienced leader and is expected to build on Pope Francis' reforms.
Stepping out onto the balcony overlooking St. Peter's Square, the new pope was met by thunderous applause and cheers from people gathered to witness this historic occasion. Pope Leo XIV spoke to the crowd and the world in both Italian and Spanish.
We have live team coverage tonight as the world reacts to Pope Leo XIV's selection. First, we go to our Maya Payton, who spoke with a historian about the conclave's decision.
Nigel and Sydney, what does this all mean for the future of the Catholic Church and perhaps political relationships in the U.S.? I spoke to a historian at Furman University as he breaks it all down, what this could mean.
I think at a minimum, I think we're probably going to see more engagement between the Pope and American culture and politics. I think that's probably unavoidable.
Furman University historian and professor of religion David Fink says it was shocking to see the Cardinals choose a pope from the United States.
I mean, honestly, my first thought when I saw that was, I wonder if he's a Bears fan.
Fink says what comes from Pope Leo XIV may be surprising.
I think you're probably going to expect to see a pope who feels a little bit more free to weigh in and speak to some of the pressing issues that are dividing Americans today.
Beyond being born in America, Fink highlights the Pope spent 20 years of his ministry in communities in Peru and speaks multiple languages.
And I think a lot of Americans are going to be thrilled. They're going to be thrilled to hear the Pope speak in their language with an American accent.
The Pope's first words to the crowd were in Spanish and Italian, not English.
And when he took that stage on that balcony and all the world was watching him, I think this was an opportunity to connect with the people he'd served and known so well. So that was how I interpreted that gesture.
Then there's politics.
We have a vice president who is a Roman Catholic. We have 6 of our 9 Supreme Court justices who are Roman Catholic.
Fink reflects on past visits by American leaders to the Pope.
That people are watching those relationships really carefully.
As to how these relationships will shape out, only time will tell.
And I would hope that this is an opportunity for our political leaders and the leadership of the Catholic Church to, in some ways hit the reset button and have stronger lines of communication.
Well, Fink says it's important to be careful with making this prediction, but he says he would not be surprised if the Pope makes a visit to the U.S. very soon. In Greenville, I'm Maya Payton, WYFF News 4.